Are you really telling me that going to Canada is harder than getting into IIT Mumbai?
I disagree. I don't think the opportunities exist for Indians abroad anymore.
What are you talking about? Have you really seen the sort of opportunities that exist in India? What are these kids doing?
Go talk to any undergrad in Canada or America. People don't want to hire them anymore.
No way I'm saying that it is a bed of roses. I'm saying that your life here is so bad that it's like a knife which is there in the back. Your priority should be getting out because that will increase both your economic and your quality of life. There is no reason for you to stay back in India.
You were selling cat coaching online course. How big was the business?
The top revenue numbers we would have done would be around 2.5 crores in 2017-18.
At the end of the day, the core idea is you make something useful. People like it. They pay for it.
Do you recommend people aim for FIRE? And if not, what should they aim for?
Aim for leaving the country. FIRE aspect of it, it would essentially be some sort of a last resort. Money in the bank is money in the bank. There is nothing more important than money in the bank.
Okay, we have Ravi Handa today with us. Somebody doesn't know Ravi Handa. I don't know how. Are you living under a rock if you're watching our podcast and you don't know Ravi Handa? He's the one who is pioneering the FIRE movement in India. He's the one who sold his company to Unacademy and did not make money on stocks. He's the one who is asking everyone to get out of India, and he's the one who is now starting a new company in India. Hello, sir.
And
How are you?
and also tweeting about sending his kids abroad.
हाँ मतलब वही तो
You
बोला
can
वो भी.
you leave or you can get your kids to leave. No, I mean those are both different things.
Yeah, he's just lazy bum. Yeah, that's what
No, no, no. That's essentially because it's very human that whatever you are not able to do in life, you want your next generation to have that. So, and it's not just with this. I was never good at sports, never played any sports. तो मेरी इच्छा है कि हाँ भाई मेरा लौंडा भी जो है ना टेनिस वेनिस जैसे शानदार वाले स्पोर्ट खेले. तो मैं तो ये सब कभी कुछ कर नहीं पाया. म्यूजिक etc. I can't sing any instrument or anything like that. मेरा भी लौंडा जो है गिटार बजाना चाहिए क्यों नहीं बजाना चाहिए. तो जो सारी चीजें मैं नहीं कर पाया. So whatever shortcomings I have, whatever mistakes that I have, I don't want my kid to carry forward those, and that's why I would want him to get out. So ऐसा नहीं है कि these two are not separate things. It is about objectively being what is better or worse, in my opinion, and that's how the call is taken.
And do you think grinding for JE is a part of that?
Not really. It depends, because the grind exists for anything that you want to do in India. So I will not really say that grind for JE is no different from the grind for a top medical college in India or the becoming the top 1% in whatever field you are in. Competition इतना ज़्यादा है तो तुमको हर चीज के लिए यार तुमको घर से एयरपोर्ट जाने के लिए ग्राइंड करना पड़ता है इस देश में. तो अलग अलग चीजों का अलग अलग ग्राइंड है. So just identifying JE as something is an incorrect thing. It's just about whether you have the capability to grind or not, and whether you want your kids to grind or not, or whether you want to grind or not. So yeah, no, I don't want anyone. Forget my kid. सबकी लाइफ आसान होनी चाहिए ना दुनिया में. किसी को भी क्यों मुश्किल हो कोई. Ideally, अगर तुम देखो तो no one should face through things.
But doing hard things is fun, no?
तुमको मजा आता है करो. But it is no longer a matter of choice. Na? It is about consent.
Yeah.
So whether you are doing it willingly or whether someone is forcing you to do it or whether the circumstances are forcing you to do it.
Yeah.
So that makes the difference.
You think like the grind is lower outside? That's what you're saying? Yeah. आप बोल रहे हो कि नहीं बस.
That is exactly the thing.
So you're saying that
No,
is it only because India? That's the reason the grind exists.
It is because of demand and supply. The amount of resources which are available, which people want, are much lesser than the number of people who are vying for them. Whether it is the space on the road from your house to the airport, or it is seat in a good college in the country. There are just too many things which are drawing on those resources. It's not practical.
But I mean, isn't that like a little too simplistic of a view? Like, I mean, currently in our geopolitical, the way that the US and the UK and Europe is, like, America doesn't want more Indian
Who is
immigrants.
talking about? So America is not the only option.
No, I
A,
mean, Europe doesn't want
Europe
Indian
is not.
Americans.
That's the,
Australia doesn't want Indian Americans.
Indians
Like,
don't want Indians here, man. Come on, what are you
no,
talking about? I don't want Indians, man. Do you really?
no, I know, but like, where are people gonna go if this
That
is the
is what they
constraint
need to.
here?
It's that is what they need to figure out. What is it that?
Yeah.
See, are you really telling me that going to Canada is harder than getting into IIT Mumbai? Obviously not.
No, it's not.
So,
It's not.
so do
But
that.
like, is like going to Canada in this day and age actually worth anything? I'd say probably
Compared
not.
to what? Compared to what?
Compared
So,
to compared
if,
to grinding at a tier two engineering college in India.
yes. Yeah,
Yes, for
No,
sure.
I mean,
What,
like, I
what
don't
do
know
you
if
know
you've been
about?
following what. Yeah.
Anmol, I know a lot more about tier two engineering colleges in India than you can probably
I'm
even
sure, I
fathom.
am sure. But I
And
also know a lot more
the
about
the
Canadian immigration
I,
than
I
you do.
I do see. I agree, but the point is the baseline of that sort of life that you have as a tier two engineering grad or forget tier two engineering grad is also probably the top 10-15% of the country. So first of all, understand that, yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you don't get to, if you're not in the top 10-15% of the country, you don't really get to tier two engineering college. You
yeah,
don't even get to engineering, to be really
yeah.
honest. So, but anyone, whether it's that tier two engineering guy or it is a tier one engineering guy or someone who's settled in career, the amount of opportunities which exist abroad, yes, no one wants you there. It's not
No, I
as
don't.
good
I
as.
disagree. I don't think the opportunities exist for Indians abroad anymore.
What are you talking about? Have you really seen the sort of opportunities that exist in India? What are these kids doing?
No, I mean,
I
like,
think I think
go talk to any any undergrad in Canada or America. People don't want to hire them anymore.
Uh, what's the you don't really understand. I think you don't really understand
No, I
the.
mean, like, I
I
understand that you think there is opportunity abroad and the base living scenario is great there, but until after you graduate, you need to get
What
a
a
job
fucking
to stay in
Uber
the
driver
country.
is better there.
No, you cannot stay in the country legally as a Uber driver.
no
You
no.
People,
can you
Okay,
can figure
Canadian
out a lot of other jobs. You can become.
Canadian students aren't getting jobs at coffee shops anymore.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. Canadian students can become coffee shop guys and still
No,
have a
no,
better
no, they're
life.
not even getting those jobs. Those jobs are not even available to them,
They are
let
not.
I
alone industry jobs.
I think what he's saying is that try to get a
The,
job there. That is much easier than getting, let's say, a software developer job here, and you will have a better life there with that
Exactly.
job than a
I,
as software.
I'm
That's
saying
not
get
related in any reality,
it.
unfortunately.
It is. I'm saying
No,
that
it's not. I have lived in America for 15 years. My
I
parents have
understand that
lived in
they don't
Canada.
really have the sort of opportunities. What are they doing here? These kids, they get out, they do the stupidest of jobs that they can find there.
Huh.
So
No,
it's
there
not
are no
that
jobs there. There are no jobs there.
there aren't.
Jobs do
What are you
not
talking about?
exist.
It's not that there are no jobs there. There are no jobs in
Yeah,
India as well. If you think about it, what are these guys going to do if they are going to remain in India?
that
Have
I
you
don't
seen
know.
these kids?
But
So that's what I'm
they're
saying. But
not
have you
gonna
seen
use up
what that
capital to go there.
whatever they do in India, their life is going to be so bad in comparison to just being there illegally is a better life than the sort of life that they will have in India. I would say I would have a better life as an illegal, maybe not as an
Then why?
illegal
But then
immigrant, but
you should go. You should.
it's
I'll
way too
put you in
much
touch
effort.
with the donkey. You can go and
It's
hop
way
on
too
a
much
flight to
effort.
Colombia.
It's way too much effort. Maybe not as an illegal immigrant, but as an Uber driver, I would have a better life there
No,
than the
but
shitty life
you
that I
cannot
have.
work as an Uber driver in America as a like you. That cannot be your primary
Fine, I
job.
can go to Greece and become a digital nomad over there. There are visas which are possible, which work for me. For various, you need to figure out what works for you. The
Yeah, I
goal
think
has to be to get out of India. Because
there
whatever
is
you are doing in India,
I
things
think
right.
that
outside
is
are
kind of
going to be
like
better.
I think this is Have you ever lived outside of India?
I have not lived outside India, no,
Yeah,
but I've
I
had
feel like
enough number
it's
of.
pointless having this argument with someone who's not experienced
It
that.
doesn't really
Like
matter. I
because
have
you have
never
no
played
clue.
cricket. I have never
You have
played cricket.
no
That does not mean that I don't know what a good shot and a bad shot is.
no, but
I understand.
you have no root in reality of what life outside of India looks like before you're saying, look, go live in Greece. Have you
I'm
heard of
not.
Greece's economy? Like, what the
It,
fuck are
it,
you gonna do in
all I'm
Greece?
saying is that you can take those visas, then you can move in the EU. There are options which are possible. The idea
EU
is,
hates non-white people right now. I don't think you
yes, they do, but
realize.
even you get hated in India as well, man. I'll get more hate in Chennai than I would get in Portugal.
No.
Come on.
Okay,
Come on. I've
I think
traveled. Please.
I think uh, I'm suddenly feeling like Arnab Goswami here. Like, okay, I mean, I think what both of you are sort of coming along are a very different angle here. Anmol, you're probably only looking from the economical and that kind of angle. I think Ravi is looking from a life quality of life angle,
No,
and then he's
I'm
saying,
looking
ki,
from a I'm talking
No,
about from a
I'm talking
lifestyle
about
perspective.
I'm talking from an economic perspective as well. The sort
okay,
And
of
I'm
career
also
that you
talking
can
about
have.
from a lifestyle perspective.
So
okay,
it is
As
into
someone as someone
capitalism,
like
not just.
go tell someone who's only grown up in India to do their laundry for 6 months and clean their house for 6 months and see what their reaction
That
is
I
going to be
have
from that.
done. So I have lived long enough abroad. So the laundry is an issue, the cleaning is an issue. I understand that. But those are issues which are still in your control. Yes, you need to put in a little more effort. There are things that you can do to make that part of the life okay. What you cannot make okay is the amount of traffic on the road, is someone just being out to kill you, the air that you breathe, the food that you eat, the infrastructure that you suffer with. Those things are not in your control. So
No,
just
a
so
large
it is
part of, yeah, a
quality,
large part of that
quality of life,
is
and it's
100%.
purely from the monetary perspective as well. Think about the sort of career that any guy has on
I
median. So I'm
I
not talking
disagree
about
on
the
the
extreme.
monetary. Yeah. No, but like the monetary path to making a lot of money in America for Indian immigrants doesn't exist anymore.
Boss, your definition of a lot of money is very, very different. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm talking about a guy.
No,
I'm
but
talking about
I'm
a guy
saying
who's.
like if you're going to go for a master's and spending 250K, you
You're
can
talking about
only
a
stay in
very,
the
very different. You're talking about a very, very different demographic who can even think about spending something like a 250K. Yes, they
no,
have
but
choices.
without spending 250K, you cannot get a degree in America.
Maybe not in America, but there are other places where you can get degrees. There is a large number of universities, even in places like Malaysia and Singapore, where you can get a master's degree for a lot cheaper. Europe, the
Yeah, but
okay,
there's
education.
so
no jobs in those countries. Like what I'm saying is like what
What are
you're
you
saying
talking
as
about?
you
There are no
opportunity.
jobs in Malaysia and Singapore for people who graduate from there. That's not the case. Boss, there
No,
are
I
more
mean like
than enough jobs.
if you're
The
in
amount
if
of
okay,
The other,
Singapore
the other, the other
requires you
option
to
is
post a
going to
bond.
Bangalore. Are you talking about finding a job in Bangalore is easier for a tier 2 engineering grad who is absolutely good for nothing, to be really honest, on the basis of skill set? He at least goes abroad,
No,
does some.
if someone is that good for nothing, they're not gonna get a job outside the country just as
They
easily as they're not
will
gonna get a
because
job in the country.
they will get those sort of jobs. They will get very poor quality jobs, but even the poor quality jobs that they get there will be significantly better than the good quality jobs that they will get here. You, you have to look
That's
at
a
it
false
from an
statement.
individual. It's not.
No,
You
it's a
have to
false
look at
statement.
it.
Doesn't exist. Like you give
There
me
are a
examples of these
large
people then.
anyone who has gone to
No.
outside India to
Tell me
study.
where this has actually happened.
okay, okay, I have
Multiple
an
people,
answer.
literally everyone that I know who has gone up, and I'm sure you will have enough people in your network who
Yeah.
have gone abroad and stayed abroad and have not really come back because their life is significantly better. Do people come
No,
back?
they
Sure, they
fucking
do.
hate their life
But then why are they not coming back? See, being cribbing
because
about.
they're too scared. They're too scared. Like I mean,
Come on,
unfortunately, for a lot of
let's
folks.
be realistic. See, it's not about what
No,
they
I
say, but
mean
what
like
they actually do.
a lot of people are afraid to give up on the American dream or give up on the visa they have in
What,
the UK.
whatever
No,
it is. So
I'm like
the bottom
I've
line is
gone
that what are
to
they actually
I've
doing?
gone to no I've
Are they
gone to high
actually
school
coming
with
back?
all of these kids, huh?
Are they actually coming back? What
No,
portion
they're
of
not.
Indians? So that's the entire point.
But
If
that doesn't mean that they love their lives in the country, is what I'm saying.
obviously it doesn't. No one loves their life, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everyone is depressed. So
No,
that is
I disagree. I love my life.
No.
that
I
is
think I.
a different argument that it's not that it is they love it there. It is about the choice that exists between
No,
option
but
A
I'm
and
also
option
like
B.
they also all moved a decade ago in a completely different
Even the ones,
environment.
yes. So
Yeah,
the doing
that environment
everything.
does not exist anymore. Just between the
Agreed. I'm
time,
not denying it. So
yeah, yeah,
2015 was better than 2025. 2005 was better than 2015. So
yes,
every decade, it's becoming harder and harder for Indians. I'm not denying that. At
yeah,
some
yeah,
point of time, being in India will is essentially better in 2025 versus in 2015. So I do agree that the graph is going up here and the graph is going down
ठीक है,
there.
okay,
But the
yeah,
gap is so huge that it is not going to get filled in our lifetimes. So in our lifetimes, I don't
uh,
really feel that it is, forget about the lifetimes. Essentially, someone who is making a career decision today is probably making it for the next decade. In the next decade, life in India is not going to get better than any part of the Western world. If you can find any sort of opportunity there,
I disagree. As someone who has
it's
lived
because
in
it's because you
San
lived an
Francisco.
extremely privileged life in India. You don't really know the
No, I
ground
know, but I
reality of
also
it.
lived. I lived in America. Like I lived in San Francisco. I lived in Chicago. Even paying high rents for very nice places in
It's
those cities
not
and making
a
high
bed of
salary.
roses. I'm not
Uh,
denying that. It is
yeah,
not a bed of roses. No way I'm saying that it is a bed of roses. I'm saying
yeah,
that your life here is so bad that it's like a knife which is there in the back. Now all I'm saying is just take the knife out. So just not being in India will take that knife out of you. Now that does not mean that the wound gets healed or your life will be hunky dory. You will still have issues. But where will you have more issues? Will you have more issues living in Jaipur, in Bangalore, in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Vishakhapatnam? Or you will have more issues living in Sydney or London or New York or whatever else, wherever else you can find an opportunity. If you can get any sort of opportunity, be it for studies, be it for career, or be it for marriage, or whichever way you can get out, your priority should be getting out because that will increase both your economic and your quality of life. There is no reason for you to stay back in India.
I agree that I think it is a better. It's gonna be beneficial for folks to leave the country, and if
That's
they
all that
can do
I'm
it, they
trying
should.
to say.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the path has basically kind of
Shutting down.
shutting down to a
Yes,
Yeah,
point
it's getting
where
harder.
it's getting harder. It's getting harder. The difference
like
is reducing. I'm not. Obviously, it is reducing. Obviously, it will get hard. You put
yeah,
so many Indians in some place, they are going to. What tourist destinations where a lot of Indians go, those
yeah,
tourist destinations don't remain nice tourist
yeah, yeah,
destinations.
yeah, yeah.
You
So
know,
if
there's
so it's bound
this
to
friend of
happen.
mine. This friend
But
of mine, Raj.
hold on. Let me just finish
Okay.
this part. You do agree that it is better for anyone to move out of India if they can.
I if they can that being the operative
If
word,
they
because
can,
I
yes,
think a lot of
obviously.
people
If they can, is the word.
need to now plan for the scenario that they have to
They
come
will not
back
be
to India
able to.
after
They are
going away.
stuck. I am stuck. I understand that. I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
I am stuck. Now, I can be stuck out of reasons X, Y, and Z. Shobhit will be stuck because of reasons X, Y, and Z. So that's different. That's a completely different thing. I'm saying if you can, by any way, by marriage, by education, by career, I don't really know if there are other ways, but if there is any other way that you can get out of India and you can build a life outside India, you should be actively trying to do that. And all I'm asking you is, do you agree with the fundamental idea that it is going to be better for them? Staying in India is not going to give them better things in life. So if there are two options which exist, if you can put in some effort, yeah. Is it as easy as 2005? No. In 2005, you could just fill some college applications and just get out. Things are significantly harder today. I'm not denying that, but that is better. Being 70 kgs at 5'8" is better than being 105 kgs at 5'8". It's that sort of an objective fact. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know what it is that you are unaware of how bad things in India are or how bad the careers of 22-year-olds from tier 2 colleges is. There are no jobs that they get. They are
No,
doing
no, I hear
life
you
is
on those
really
points
hard for
entirely.
them.
I hear you. I just like from everything I have seen with people going to the US, going to the UK, going to Canada to study abroad, there doesn't seem to be jobs for those folks, so they end up all having to come back. Now, I'm
Same
not going
page.
to
So
say that life in
that is
India is
happening.
better.
Yeah. So I
I'm not going to
agree
say
that a
life in
lot of
India
them
is
are
better.
forced.
Okay,
I
let me
agree.
complete my
No.
point.
So you are no. The
Like,
point that you're making is making it on the basis of that so many of them had to come back. I agree. What is the percentage, in
yes,
your
yes.
opinion, for these people who are coming back? Just if you have any
So,
estimate
I
of
mean,
just by anecdotally.
I'll tell you between my batch and my younger brother's batch, who's 5 years younger than me, I went to college in 2014. Of all my friends who went to the US to study, which in our batch of an Indian school originally was 5 people, only two of them came back. In my brother's batch, which is maybe I think 2x the number of people went there, about 50% have come back.
Fair. Now these are
And
A.
this is like private school in Delhi,
So
fairly wealthy
this is the,
folks.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
there are a couple
yeah,
of roles at play there. A, in the data that you yourself are talking about, the number is 50%.
yeah.
Okay.
But this
So
is the cream of the cream. They go
yeah.
to, yeah,
Correct, because these guys will have large amount of opportunities purely from the
yeah,
privilege that they bring in India
yes,
itself.
yes.
But for the vast majority is not coming back. Yes, people are coming back.
No.
Earlier,
I'm
maybe
saying these people have privilege of having networks in the US to be able to stay back because they're able to get a job there. As you
okay.
go lower in the strata, people aren't going to be able to get those connections to find jobs in the US, and they're going to come back in a
So
larger
that's what
number.
okay. So this is where you need to actually look at data about the percentage of people who are actually coming back. Any sort of data that you pick up about the number of Indians who are going abroad every year versus the number of people who are coming every year, the number of people who are getting educated abroad, not able to find jobs there, and they are being forced to come back. All of these numbers have grown in the last few years. There is obviously no denying that.
100%,
What I'm
100%.
saying is, but the number of people who actually continue to stay is still
Yeah.
far larger than the number of people who are coming back. For people who have been there for multiple years, or even the people who are going recently. Some countries have become much worse. Say, for example, Canada is much worse over the last 3 years. But even in Canada, if you look at the actual number of percentage of people who will come back, that is not going to be more than 50%. That, okay, more than half the graduates were forced to come back of the people who are going there. So it doesn't work for the bulk. I don't know whether the number of people coming back is 5%. And again, you don't really look at Canada. You're supposed to essentially look at the entire world where Indians have been able to go. So Canada is the worst example. Maybe there is some data there. But over worldwide, if you look at it, I don't really think that even 5% are coming back. The 95% of it, or maybe it is 90%, maybe it is 80%. I have no idea what the number is. But bulk of them do find something there, in which I am sure, at least the network that I move in, I know a large number of people who are essentially sending their kids out. So I am that
Yeah,
age.
no.
And
Yeah.
so they continue to stay there. Even if
No,
they come
I think
of,
most people should send their kids to the US or maybe even the UK for undergrad 100%. I am not denying that at all. I just don't know how many people can continue to stay back there given
yes, it is.
how
See,
America wants to deal with Indians in the country.
correct. It's going to be a problem. I'm not denying that it is going to be a problem. I'm not saying, I'm saying it is a problem even today. What
Yeah,
I'm saying is that even after all those problems, it is
yeah,
still a great idea if you can get out, and you should essentially try to get out.
yeah,
Yes,
fair.
it is, not 100% proof solution,
No,
but
I think if you can get out, you should get out.
What?
that's
Yeah.
question number two.
No, I'm not denying that
Okay, I think
America
Anmol,
is.
you're basically saying
Number
the
two.
reality versus what
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
be
Like
aiming for.
if you can live the American dream, you should. Like there is
Living the
no
again,
country.
now you're changing the goalpost. Living the American dream is hugely different from just being getting out. Just getting
Okay,
out of
but I
India
mean,
is
to me,
uh,
there is no other place to get out if you want. Like Like
Not
America is the
really,
only
man.
place that worth is worth going.
No, not
I'm
really.
biased in
I would
my
no, not really. I would argue that even if you can, so I have a couple. So it's not a very huge data set, but I have a few friends who have essentially moved to even places like Kuala Lumpur, which was never on my
yeah,
radar.
but
Life in Kuala,
I don't give a fuck about any of those countries. Like
so
like
life in
my
Kuala Lumpur is
experience is
significantly
biased
better.
by, I think if you want to leave India, you go to America. There's no country better for capitalism, for making money,
No. I'm not
for
saying that America is not
yeah,
number one. America is number one.
yeah.
Very different argument. What you are essentially saying is it's only India or America, and then you should aim for the best. Absolutely.
Is how I would tell people.
What I am saying is that there is a large number of countries which exist between India and the US, and any one of them you can go to will be an improvement. So Kuala Lumpur is going to be an improvement. Singapore is going to be an improvement. Dubai is going to be an improvement, barring whatever is happening over the last 3 weeks. But a large number of cities, anywhere in Europe, is going to be an improvement. Australia is going to be an improvement. New Zealand is going to be an improvement. And I have people who have moved to all of these places, and
Yeah.
nearly everyone cribs that this problem is there or that problem is there. But the number of people who actually, take action and come back is not significant enough. If you ask them genuinely that, okay, I need help, and that is a very common situation that happens with me, that, okay, there is someone's friend, okay, do you know someone who has a kid who studies in New Zealand, or can you connect them? Whenever I have connected any of these guys, all of them have come back convinced that, okay, yes, that is the right path to take. No, they might keep on cribbing themselves, but to others, when it comes to recommendations, they always say that, yes, you should take the route of
But that's
getting
because they're
out.
all lonely in those countries and they want more Indians to be
I,
friends.
and that's being extremely dismissive of their
No,
judgment.
I think
Would
it's true.
be,
Like I mean, in Europe, in most of these countries, like it's not very easy assimilating. Like
it is not. It's
America, much easier.
absolutely not. It's absolutely
Yeah,
not.
America much easier. Canada maybe slightly easier. Europe's
Problems
god awful
exist.
for yeah.
Problems exist. So there is no point denying that. But yeah. So question one, answer: if you can get out, get out. Question number two, sir.
And you said it boring hoega.
This is probably our
I
spiciest
thought because this
podcast
is
till
no,
date.
I don't really I didn't really think that something this obvious would need to be explained.
No, I mean I don't think it's obvious at all
So
because I think
that's what I'm
like
saying. That's
yeah.
what surprised me, and that is why I didn't
No,
really think that
I
it
don't
need to be.
like. I think you like.
You also fired, which is financially independent, retired early. What does it mean to you? Because honestly, you can basically live off of, let's say, 10 crores in India in a tier 2 city like Jaipur and with your own home. But is it boring?
It is. It's again about what the other alternative is. It's the same theory which I was talking a little while, that if you have a knife in the back, you remove the knife in the back. The wound is still going to exist. So the job for me was that knife in the back. काम करना पड़ता है यार. Someone is forcing me to do work. And many times it was that someone was myself only, that I am trying to motivate myself कि अच्छा मेरे को और पैसा कमाना है या मेरे को कुछ और करना है. So once you remove that, is it boring? Yes, it is. I don't. The life has no meaning. Why am I alive? But then you can essentially translate to the why is anyone alive? There is no point to life, and people have been giving themselves these meaningless goals about building a career or making enough money or changing the world. You are not. Nothing matters. Whatever you do is absolutely going to be useless, and potentially 1 year after your death, or 1 year, what you did 5 years ago, that is of very little consequence today. So nothing matters as it is. So yeah, it is indeed boring. But the other alternative is that yes, you keep doing things that you don't really enjoy doing, you don't really like doing. So I'm glad that I'm able to get out of those things that I don't really enjoy doing. Now, some people are smart enough, lucky enough to build their careers in fields that they actually like and enjoy. They actually like doing that stuff. I wasn't lucky enough. Or even if to be really honest, I started doing stuff which I like, but then eventually I got bored of it. So I got into the teaching career because I liked that aspect of it. Started the business, and then I like teaching as well as I like making money. But then all of these things, your teachers, students liking you, it beyond a point, I didn't enjoy it anymore. Making money became a hassle, checking in the morning that, okay, did I make some money last night or no? And my mood being defined by how much money I have made when I was sleeping. It becomes a net negative at, keeping working, keeping yourself motivated, keep trying for more, asking for more. That becomes a net negative at some point of time in life. The marginal utility of money goes to zero. The marginal utility of motivation to do anything goes to zero. So you stop making money, you stop being motivated.
So your business was basically you were selling CAT coaching online course and then bank PO and other sort of competitive exam courses online. But you were basically early to the scene. Is that how relevant do you think was being early to it making money and being whatever business? Like how big was the business? Can you reveal that?
Being early essentially, worked to my advantage because no one else was doing it. That means I had to put in very little effort to actually do whatever I wanted to do because not much competition existed. So these were all low hanging fruits which were there, which I was able to capture. But eventually, once a lot of people starting doing it, things became hard. The competition became hard, and that is when it became more of a pain. And that essentially also led to the decision of, quitting everything because it's not happening easily. You have to work harder to make more and more money, and you don't need that more and more money. So then why work harder and harder just to be relevant? So all of that played a role. And as far as the amount of money is concerned, I am not very sure of the numbers. It has been a while back, but the top revenue numbers we would have done would be around 2.5 crores in 2017-18, something like that. Should be around that.
With like 80% gross margin, net margin.
I would not remember what the margin
Okay.
figure. There was a lot of taxes that we had to. GST was a part of this number. So first of all, it gets out. So out of the 2.5 crore number, then there were a bunch of the other big charges were.
What were your cost? What were your cost? Like,
So yeah, that's what I'm
where did you
thinking.
spend money?
Where did we spend money? So payment gateway used to take that 1.5%.
That's small, nah? That's
That's
yeah.
a very small.
Uh,
Yeah.
Then office space. So
Sales
we had
people.
so office space of 10, 12 people. So those 10, 12 people salaries. Then there were video hosting costs, and all those costs were involved. Then there were various these Sumo marketing software, MailChimp software, and all of that
So
stuff.
nothing is like there's. I think except for salaries, ज़्यादा बड़ा है नहीं कुछ like. It's
I don't really remember, man. It
But-
was a while ago. And I never actually, to be really honest, tracked it that much as well. Just spend whatever feels okay spending.
Why do you think other people were not doing it early on? Like you did basically from 2011, I guess, to 2017
So
is I think
not really. I started doing it in 2008.
2008.
Is
Okay.
that
Were you doing it
teaching.
online in 2008 as well?
Yeah. So essentially, made a couple of YouTube videos, but not making any money from it. So 2008 is when I started. 2009 is when I think I first tried to make money via this route. So the idea at that point of time was that, okay, you can't make videos. I'll make videos. I'll make and give videos to you. So currently, some of the pitches that we did at that point of time was that right now you have books and questions and answers which are there. So you just give the question and the answer. The solution is not good enough. I will make a set of videos which will be the solution for your book, and you just give it out as a CD with the book at that point of time. That I pitched to a couple of people. I think I got a couple of contracts, but wasn't able to fly that. Because of that, I made some online content. I started writing on a lot of places, on a lot of websites and blogs. So that made a little bit of money. But the big bump up happened back in 2011, 12-ish is around. So someone compiled all of this content that I had for floating free around, and he put it on a CD and he started selling it in Delhi University. So, and then he contacted me,
Without you,
boss तुम्हारा
without
content
you
दिख रहा है.
knowing, or
नहीं, initially I didn't know. बाद में then he contacted me कि आप तुम्हारा content बिक रहा है, let's start making more videos and sell more CDs. So I go, fine, I'll make more videos and you do the selling. So that worked a little bit, and then I thought, ki, okay, fine, if this one kid can do it, so then then I started contacting
So, but this
online
is
providers like VisIQ and MBA Universe. So these were some portals. Ki, boss, CD में मैं बनाता हूँ, तुम बेचो इसको, because you'll have your network. And then I realized that those guys were not doing sales. So बाहर में जान दो, sale भी मैं खुद ही कर लूंगा. So then I started doing everything on my own in 2012-13.
Started selling this on my own, and then the business picked up for a while. Then competition came in, and then it started to become a problem, and that's when I sold it off.
do you remember anything you figured out which was you had that thing for a while only with you, and then eventually others learned? Like maybe selling online was maybe one that. Anything else like getting customers, maybe उस level पे like इतने time तक if you were for 4 5 years like ahead of the market, like you would have figured something out, right? That others were not doing. Is that, do you remember that?
I don't really think ऐसा कुछ insights था. मतलब at the end of the day, the core idea is you make something useful, people like it, they pay for it. मतलब और कुछ था नहीं.
I guess, like, is there anything about that time period where like other people weren't making content to sell on CDs, or like was there?
No, people were not doing it.
Yeah,
People were not doing it because they all of these guys
yeah.
they had offline businesses.
Take it.
So just by going online, they will be cannibalizing their own market. So that is why none of them were doing it.
Got it.
So it could only come in from someone who starts to do this online. And for the guys who were trying to do this online, there were a few of them, but they don't really. I don't think some of them did a very good job. Some of them didn't persist with it long enough. Some of them, or rather, most of them, didn't have the privilege that I had. I had money in the bank. I had my wife who was working, so I can throw money at a problem. I had no dependence on me. So A, I was extremely privileged. B, I was extremely lucky in this aspect that online internet was growing and exploding, then the speeds didn't really matter. So 2012-13 speeds used to be an issue, but by the time 2015-16, those Geo speeds were not an issue, but by even pre-Geo in 14-15 also, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
When I tried doing something similar in 2008-9, it didn't really work. The video, entire thing being picked up because internet speeds were an issue. So I was, it's simply luck and privilege, not insights, which.
And I guess I'm also curious, this guy who was selling your CDs, how did he call you one day, or did he email you, or did he text you? Like,
No, I knew the guy.
Okay.
So I was active on various forums,
Okay.
etc. And then
So it was
someone
not just like
suggested
some
that
random guy who found your content and is like, मैं इसका CD बना के बेचूंगा.
Not really. So it's online. The network was, I think it was someone I found in pagalguy.com,
Okay.
which used to be a forum of MBA students, etc.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pagal Guy was basically where people would hang out and talk. It was a forum where people would hang out before giving cat, and I guess even when they were in college. Now you've started Handa Uncle, which is basically kind of like an advisory. Obviously, you will explain it better, but I've never seen you as animated about Handa Ka Funda as you have been animated about Handa Uncle.
Yeah, but that's probably because when you met me, Handa Uncle is in the very, very early stages. But when you met me, Handa Kafanda was already reasonably well established. So it didn't really require that amount of passion, etc. And I was bored with it because the money, see, at the end of the day, what is a business working? किस्मत है, टाइमिंग है, कैपिटल है, एग्जीक्यूशन है, यही सब मतलब बेसिक बेसिक चीजें हैं. Some of them are in your control and some of them are not in your control. Luck, timing part, they matter a lot more in the beginning, more than once the business is established after 3 years, 4 years, revenues are coming in, it's profitable, etc. Simply because it's new, I am excited by it. It is something interesting that I found to do after a very long time, and that's why I'm a little excited about it. But as far as the core idea is concerned, it's basically to build some sort of a financial advisor based on AI. And the core idea, I believe, I still go back to be, it seems like a low hanging fruit to me. There are, however, the difference between at that point of time and this point of time is there. Whenever I talk to people that, okay, you can actually teach online and prepare online, there was not many people were trying it, and they were very, uh, at least the folks who are in the sector were very dismissive of the idea. But now I see two new people trying something with AI and finance every other day. So yeah, trying has become a lot more easier as well. Essentially, broadly, what I'm
And who
trying
do you
to
compete with
put
here?
down.
Is it like, are you competing with Motilal Oswal, or are you competing with like a broker or a
or chat GPT.
or ChatGPT?
इतना to be really honest सोचा
मतलब okay,
नहीं
what
है मतलब so I can give you the answer that I give out to VCs and stuff कि who essentially we are going after. The broad idea is essentially wherever you are getting your financial decisions and your financial advice from, which could be from a bank, which could be from a friend, which could be from some guy who is trying to tell you something. So those are essentially the ideas. I don't really think that this sort of a space has any relevant competitors at this point of time. Something needs to be built in this space. Will it replace some of the existing structures? I don't think so. It is just going to become maybe a potentially another tool for people to try out. If it is well built, then yes, there might be some money that can be made. But in all probability, it is just a nice, fancy tool, and that has the potential of being useful. I will not really even call it very useful. So once it is useful, once the product is built out, once it is something, then you can essentially ask and answer what the competing thing is. अभी तो कुछ है ही नहीं. अभी तो मतलब it's because I don't even know what the AI capabilities are, or what the, see, as a teacher I knew that I could teach you math. Here, there are so many unknowns. I don't even know what the final solution will be capable of. So, until and unless I don't even know what the final solution is going to be or what it is going to be capable of, the clarity simply does not exist. तो जब फिगर आउट होगा तब होगा, नहीं होगा तो ठीक है. It was not a bad way to spend a couple of years or 6 months or 3 months or whatever time.
do you recommend people aim for fire? And if not, what should they aim for?
I don't really think aiming for it or not aiming for it is going to make any difference, to be honest. If you want to aim for something, aim for a career that you like.
And aim for
Because if you can
leaving the country.
aim for leaving the country. So, being the fire aspect of it, it should essentially be some sort of a last resort. That, okay, you can't really do anything with your career. You cannot change the company that you work in. You cannot change the people that you work with. You cannot change your job profile. A lot of times, if you just change your job profile or your company or the domain that you're working in, a lot of the problems go away because they are very specific to that domain, and many often even to that set of six people that you work with. Just changing that same set of six people that you work with in the same company can be make a lot of difference. So if everything else fails, if there is no other way out, then yes, I would say fire becomes something of a last resort option. However, I would recommend and suggest that being financially prudent matters. You should invest properly. You should try and save as much money as possible because money in the bank is money in the bank. There is nothing more important than money in the bank.
How do you handle your finances right now? Like what, like how do you split them? How do you have, like, how much is it in equity? How much is it in fixed income? How much is it in debt, for example?
Essentially, four broad categories is where my investments lie. One is the real estate aspect, the house that I live in, and some property that I own. If you actually include that uh, I don't even know what the numbers would be because I can't do anything with it, so I don't really keep a track of
But
that
I mean,
number.
do you rent
But
it out at least the other properties, or there's no benefit in?
no, so it's a piece of land. I grow vegetables on it for consumption. It's a stupid thing to do, but just gives you something to
Yeah.
grow. That is there. Then I believe currently the financial assets are divided into equity, pure debt, pure hybrid, and then there is a set of hybrid investments which someone else takes a call on what the ratio between equity and that should be. And then there is a gold exposure. If I remember correctly, pure equity should be around 50%, pure debt should be around 20%, gold should be around 10%, and another 20% should be the hybrid where other people are taking a call on what the ratio of equity and that should be. So those are roughly what the numbers should be. And because equity has fallen in the recent times, I'm trying to rebalance by buying equity currently. So as of today, I'm a net buyer. I have a couple of flex STPs which are buying into Indian equity as we speak.
Why Indian? Why not like global?
Because there is no easy way to buy global equity in India right now. The options that exist are you go via a party like an Ind Money, Vested, Interactive Brokers, or someone like that, where what happens is your money essentially sits outside India in the form of dollars.
Yes.
So now, once your money is there, a couple of issues come into the picture. You have to file Schedule FA in India that you have foreign assets, so taxation becomes a little bit of an issue. In case you are investing in something which potentially generates dividends, then there is another tax complication that comes in. But the biggest roadblock personally for me was that if you have more than, I think, $60,000 in assets and you die, the US government will keep 40% of it. I don't remember the exact numbers, but the inheritance laws would essentially mean that you will lose out a lot of that money which sits outside India in inheritance. And the limit for that is something like $60,000 or $50,000. $60,000, I think that is the limit. You'll probably check it, which is not significant enough. So that's not a good way to gain exposure in the US market. The other options which are which are available right now, is the gift city route that exists. So what you can do is via the gift city route, you can invest outside India. But again, the Schedule FA part is there. It is an expensive way to do it because of the taxation which comes in. But on these gift city funds, if you sell it at less than 2 years, your actual tax rate would be going to be close to 40%. And I would not want to get into a product where
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to take out money in 2 years, but I don't even want to be in a product where the potential taxation is going to be 40% of the gains. So that becomes an issue. And also the number of options which are currently offered by Gift City are fairly limited. DSP, I believe, has a fund which is an active fund. I'm not a fan of active funds. Active funds are those where the fund manager is making a choice of which companies to invest in. Parag Parikh has a couple of passive funds which are there, which are the S&P 500 as well as the Nasdaq. Both of them would have been a really, really good choice at some point of time in the past. But as of today, looking at the fact that the international equity has run up a lot over the last couple of years or so compared to Indian equity, which has not really done anything. It doesn't really make sense putting money after something which has done well because of the recency bias. Oh, that is doing very well. Let's
So you're not a buyer of Nvidia and think they're gonna keep running up. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
so I'll come to that. So it's not about being a buyer of Nvidia or any individual companies. It's about investing broad money outside of India when the outside markets have done
But
well
I
on a
mean, like I
valuation
would assume
perspective.
that S&P at this point is like 50% of it is like six companies. Huh?
Correct.
Huh?
Correct. So
So
it's so
yeah,
if an option existed, which existed, let's say something like 3 years ago, HDFC had a very nice developed world indexes fund,
got it.
which combined various indexes in a particular ratio. So that was a brilliant option. I did invest some money into it, but then the RBI rules forced it to stop
Then you
taking
capital,
fresh
yeah,
money.
yeah.
HDFC, I've heard, is coming up with a similar fund structure in the Gift City. So when that opens up, first of all, that needs to open up. Then I would believe that will be a very credible option. I already have S&P exposure. I already have Nasdaq exposure via my old investment. I would like to get the developed world indexes and move some of my money there. But two things need to happen. An effective product needs to come out. I hope HDFC comes out with an effective product. B, the valuations need to be at least reasonable from an asset allocation perspective. So I don't really know whether the valuations are very good or very bad or what is going to happen to them. I am simply going by the idea that suppose I had 50% in Indian equity 2 years ago and 50% in international equity 2 years ago, then this 50 lakhs would have remained 50 lakhs. That 50 lakhs would have become potentially an 80
Yeah,
lakhs.
yeah,
If I have to rebalance
yeah,
it,
yeah.
then I would move money from international equity to
Yep,
Indian equity if I had a good asset
yep.
allocation. So I didn't have that. That was my mistake. But, to fix that mistake, I buy international equity at once it has done very well compared to the Indian equity, it doesn't really make sense. So that's why I'm a net buyer of Indian equity right now. I'm moving money out of my debt funds and I'm moving money to equity funds.
One kind of asset which maybe you don't consider in this bucket at all is like, I know you angel invest a bit or you've tweeted about it. Do you look at that as part of your portfolio at all, or is that kind of just like a side pocket fuck around with money? And how do you think about angel investing in general?
There are a couple of, these sort of side bets which are there. So A is I have some exposure in crypto, which is essentially sort of a side bet. Let's see what happens. Very similarly, I invest in, I believe what I've done some 8, 10 angel investments till now, but none of those investments were made with the idea of making money or getting a return from it. They were primarily done with the idea of, oh, there is a friend or a friend of a friend or someone is doing something in the ecosystem. Let me just throw some money at it in form of moral support or something like that. So that is how those 8, 10 have been. And there I truly don't care. Although some of them have done well, and I am hopeful that the payout will happen. Couple of payouts have happened as well, so that is
I think then you're doing better than most angel investors if you've already had a couple of payouts. I don't think most angels in this country have seen any liquidity.
very small insignificant
No,
amount. See,
no,
the point
but
is that when
yeah,
I'm
yeah, but I'm saying that
investing,
still, like, I mean, I don't think like most angel investors I know in the country all started angel investing only in 2021, and then they did like
Yes, I think that makes a difference. So I
yes,
started doing it in 2016,
yeah,
twenty
yeah,
seventeen is when I made my first
yeah,
investment. So
yeah,
the best one, which has turned out to be, is this company called M
yeah, yeah,
Caffeine.
yeah. The,
They make the,
they do this that thing with
uh,
Kriti Sanon, that one.
that one,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So that is the one that I'm most hopeful about as of today. And then there is the other startup investments which I do, which are via a fund.
Okay,
So I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the fund. So there is this friend of a friend who runs a venture fund. Longview Venture is
okay.
the name. So Longview,
You're an LP there.
yeah. So Longview Ventures is the fund where and those guys. So there I'm expecting a return.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The there is a smart guy who is running that fund, and he is not taking calls based on कि अच्छा हाँ यार ये दोस्त का दोस्त है कुछ कर देते हैं. So there I'm expecting a return, but that's fairly new. It has just been 3 years, I think, so I haven't had any sort of an exit over there. And it would be
No, no,
unfair
yeah, I
to
don't think
even expect a fund to give out any money or anything like
yeah,
that in the first
yeah,
3 years.
yeah. I don't think you get see anything there at least until like 7, 8 years in.
Yeah, last thing I wanted to talk about was, you remember you had this alcohol channel, your whiskey tasting YouTube channel. उसका क्या हुआ? What happened to it?
कुछ नहीं, बोर हो गया.
What? I thought that was one thing that you are kind of like, passionate about.
नहीं है यार वो passionate. I am not passionate about anything. पूरा मर गया है. So you need this sort of some sort of goal, something to look forward to कि मैं अगले 6 महीने में ये करना चाहता हूँ, मैं अगले 7 दिन में ये करना चाहता हूँ. अगर तुम कुछ करना ही नहीं चाहता है, because everything essentially boils down to कि इसको करके क्या फायदा. Because the only reason I have done things throughout my life is कि पैसा मिलेगा तो फिर उससे मैं कुछ एक्स वाई वो चीजें कर पाऊंगा जिनसे मेरे को खुशी मिलती है. खाना हो गया, घूमना हो गया, दारू पीना हो गया, पार्टी करना हो गया, बड़ा टीवी लेना हो गया, एनीथिंग. All of those things were okay. Earn money so that you can do those things for getting happiness. Once you have earned money, तो फिर मतलब कुछ भी करने का कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं है. Then how are you going to be passionate about anything?
You remember a few years back you told me that in India you can essentially make money with anything, even like by making a YouTube channel for wine content, and you can essentially reach 2-3 lakh rupees a month with monetizing that channel and then getting sponsorship and whatnot. Do you still think that is possible? Yeah, have your views changed?
I think that is still very much possible. The probability of doing that keeps falling because there are a lot of people who are trying to do that. So the competition has significantly gone up when it comes to content creation because the content creation has moved towards a slightly shorter format of content. And when it moves towards a slightly shorter format of content, that means that a larger number of people are able to deliver that content. So yes, successful content creators can still make amount of money by peddling wine, but the chances of them being successful is diminishing by the day. I think it's very, very difficult to make money as a. I don't know, man. I don't think I'll be very confident that a content creator will be able to make 2-3 lakh rupees easily in 2026. So, nah, I don't think it's possible anymore. It is easier to become a doctor than to become a content creator who makes 3 lakh rupees a month. एक काम कर, ये क्वेश्चन हटा, लास्ट वाला टाटा बाय बाय कर, खत्म कर.
Anmol, can you do it?
Well, okay, we're gonna wrap. Thank you so much for coming on to the pod, and please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment Handa Uncle in the comment field below. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.